Look carefully at this woman. She seems quite beautiful. In fact, she isn't unattractive at all. This woman, named Lily, is actually a young widow. Her husband passed away in an accident, and since then, Lily hasn't remarried. That year, a young man from the village was accepted into a prestigious university in another city. The whole village came to congratulate him. Among them was the young widow, Lily. Lily was 3 years older than the young man, and they got along very well. As they spent more time together, the young man and Lily developed feelings for each other. They soon started a relationship in secret, hiding it from the village. The young man didn't want to make their relationship public, because he felt that Lily, as a widow, didn't match his status as a university student. Meanwhile, Lily dreamed of a better life, thinking that once he graduated, he would take her to the city for a good life together. Each had their own intentions, so this relationship was never entirely sincere. After the young man left for university, Lily stayed in the village, waiting for him. Whenever he returned for holidays, they could spend time together again. Eventually, Lily suggested moving to his university town to support herself by working. The young man tried to reassure her, saying that costs were high, and finding a job required qualifications. "Stay in the village and wait for me," he said. He seemed caring, but he had his own motives. Not long after starting university, he met a local girl named Claire. Although Claire was plain looking, she came from a wealthy family. For a young man from a rural village, this was a huge temptation. Using his charm, he soon won over Claire. After he and Claire became a couple, he found himself in a dilemma, unwilling to give up the kind-hearted Lily from his village, or the privileges that came with Claire. In simple terms, he was playing both sides. Back home, he enjoyed the closeness with Lily, and in the city, he thrived with Claire. Naturally, he wasn't going to let Lily come to visit him, because it could ruin his newfound life and prospects. In his 3rd year, he started an internship at Claire's family business. This was his moment of pride and success, and he returned to the village with confidence during holidays. But when he went to visit Lily, she greeted him warmly and hugged him. With excitement, Lily said, "I'm pregnant with your child. You're working in the big city now, right? Let's get married soon." Hearing this, the young man panicked. For the past 3 years, they had taken precautions each time. How could she be pregnant? He tried to persuade her to have an abortion, citing unstable work and financial concerns as reasons. But Lily firmly responded, "This is the result of our love. No matter what, I'm keeping the child." Soon after, Lily secretly bought a ticket to visit him in the city. The young man didn't know Lily was coming. When he returned to the city, he immediately went to meet Claire at a hotel. But Lily, who had followed him, caught him there. However, Lily didn't confront him in front of Claire. Instead, she went to his rented apartment and planned to talk privately. When the young man saw Lily, who had followed him, he felt a headache coming on, and Lily's next words pushed him into a corner. "If you don't break things off with that woman, I'll tell her about your double dealing. And I'll tell everyone in the village too, ruining your reputation." Feeling trapped, he agreed reluctantly and arranged for Lily to stay in a rented place temporarily. But as Lily's pregnancy progressed, he realized he couldn't keep up the charade any longer. One night, he found himself unable to bear the pressure and secrecy. While Lily was asleep, he cruelly strangled her, ending their 3-year relationship. To cover up the crime, he buried Lily under a tree. However, Lily's disappearance raised the landlord's suspicions. Worried about her safety, the landlord called the police. The police reviewed surveillance footage and quickly discovered the young man's crime. The court ultimately ruled it a double homicide, finding his actions cruel and sentenced him to death. This tragedy prompts deep reflection. The conflicts and choices in love are often unpredictable. Love can lead to madness. But we must understand that crime is never a solution. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. The story takes place one spring. A 19-year-old young man was assigned by the factory manager to oversee maintenance work. Since most of the workers in the workshop were women, they would often joke around with the young man. As he got closer to everyone, he was frequently called by the women to help fix various appliances at their homes. One of the women, Emma, was a QC supervisor at the factory. She was 35 and had a young child. She took good care of herself. She used to have a stable family life until her husband was convicted of fraud 8 years ago and sentenced to 10 years in prison. One day, Emma's computer broke down, so she called the young man over to help fix it. Since he had to work overtime, he didn't arrive at Emma's home until around p.m. By then, Emma's child and mother-in-law were already asleep. The young man worked on the computer until after midnight to get it fixed. They then stayed up talking until around m. As the young man was about to leave, Emma impulsively suggested he stay, saying it was late, and there was a spare bed. Their relationship was close, so she insisted he didn't need to be formal. She told him to use her bedroom's bathroom, as it was cleaner. That night, for the first time, the two of them crossed the line. Afterward, they continued their relationship on and off. They would openly spend time together at her home, and neither her child nor her mother-in-law could say much. At first, Emma felt that such relationships were common nowadays. A little excitement here and there wasn't unusual. Her husband's imprisonment left a void in her life, especially when she was stressed. Having a young man by her side seemed to fill that void. But 4 months later, Emma visited her husband in prison and learned he was behaving well and might be released the following year. She decided to end things with the young man. However, the young man was deeply attached and refused to let go. Emma informed his family, hoping they could help him move on. But the young man became even more obsessed, threatening to jump from a building if she left him. Emma had no choice but to give in. She reluctantly continued the relationship. Later, Emma decided to take a leave of absence from the factory. The young man's father, who worked in another city, found him a new job elsewhere, and insisted he leave the factory soon. The young man pleaded with Emma to meet one last time, promising to separate after that. Emma thought it might help, and planned to talk some sense into him. After they met, Emma noticed the young man was still very insistent. She decided it would be best to leave quickly, to avoid any further entanglement. The young man, feeling desperate, decided he needed to find Emma and get answers, but her phone was off, and he couldn't locate her. So, he bought a small LED light and a TV remote, then rolled up 7 pieces of old newspaper into tubes, binding them together. Armed with this fake device, he went to Emma's home and held her mother-in-law and child hostage. He threatened that if Emma didn't meet him by p.m., he would blow up her family and the house. The police quickly arrived and evacuated nearby residents. They tried for hours to convince the young man to put down the fake explosive device. But after 5 or 6 hours with no progress, the police found an opportunity to subdue him and safely rescued the child and elderly woman. In court, the young man was charged with coercion, threats, and kidnapping. However, since he used a fake explosive device and did not cause serious harm to the victims, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. If only Emma hadn't strayed, and if the young man hadn't acted on impulse, this tragedy might have been avoided. But there are no if-onlys in life. Cherish your family. Value your youth. Life is short, and one wrong step can lead to lasting regret. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.